Thank you. I'm delighted to do this video for the LGBTQIA+ staff network. I've been a member of the network since I joined DCHS, that's back in 2019, and I was delighted to find the network. I'm a gay man. I've lived with my partner for over 23 years. It hasn't always been the case that my work life has been as positive as it is here in DCHS, or as well supported. The network is a real home for people. It's a safe space. It's a supportive environment. It matters to have it so that everyone can be supported to be themselves at work. So I knew the network had a real benefit for me, a real role to play, a real purpose across the organisation. People may know that previously Jim Austin was the exec sponsor. This year, of course, he's stepped up into his new role as chief executive. So it just felt like a great opportunity for me. The timing was right. So in September, Jim and I handed over the roles, and I'm delighted to support the network and will carry on doing so to the best of my ability. So I think the staff network is a great help for me personally. It really does give me a place and a space to be completely myself. It is easier to have conversations about what you've done with your partner at the weekend when other people are understanding what that means and in similar situations. What we want to create is a place in DCHS where everybody, irrespective of their sexuality or background, can have that comfortable Monday morning conversation about what you did over the weekend. So I think having the staff network is a real help to me in that regard. And I genuinely hope it's a help to the other members of the network as well. And I think the work that we do in support of each other is really important. And then it's the work that we do in support of everybody who's a member of staff with DCHS. And then even beyond that, it's the work that we do for our patients and for the people that we care for and look after, all the time creating, I hope, that increasingly safe space for people to be the best they can be. Well, it gives me a great pride actually that this organisation has the network, and there are also networks for people with other protected characteristics, but I think it speaks to the values of DCHS as an organisation that having a network to represent everybody in every way is regarded as important. So for me personally, I've met a great many friends and new people of different backgrounds and different sexualities and different experiences in their life. And that, for me as a senior leader, is important. For me as an individual is important. And I think it gives me the opportunity to help in a leadership sense. The network talk about some quite tricky stuff at times. Stuff to do with policies or procedures or the care that we provide for our own staff and for our patients. And it's really important that every person is recognised in that work. So the existence of the network, both for me personally and professionally, is important from that regard. So the LGBTQIA+ staff network is an important safe space for people, first and foremost, but its purpose is quite broad, really. I think there's an important role to play in helping the organisation to make sure that the way in which staff are treated, the care and attention that we pay to the needs of all of our staff are thought about. So examples might be that there's a policy coming through around working from home, for example, or the different ways in which staff might be supported to work flexibly. That could have different implications for members of our community, for members of our network. So it's our job to think carefully about that, and what might parental leave mean, for example, to a same-sex couple. And it's important for people to know that there's a network and a group whose purpose is to help them be the best they can at work and help with all of those policies, procedures, flexibility. And there's so much more that we can do as well, both for staff and for our patients. I think we can achieve a sense of belonging for people who may sometimes not feel that sense of belonging at work because they feel themselves to be different. So it is a place where everyone is welcome. It really doesn't matter what your background is, what your life experience has been. We want to make people feel welcome, and we'll work hard together to understand an individual's need. So across the whole organisation, some people work in big teams, some people work more alone or even lone working, or are much more out with patients in their own homes, yet still they should feel that there's a group they can belong to across the organisation where they can be absolutely themselves and comfortable, and increasingly working to make sure that that sense of comfort and belonging is everywhere and extends across the team that you're in. In terms of membership for the LGBTQIA+ staff network, I'd reiterate that it's for everyone. So it doesn't matter what your sexuality is, it doesn't matter what your preferences in that sphere of your life are. Because the other thing I'd say is that allyship is incredibly important and of great benefit to members of the community and the network. We know that members of staff may have members of their family who have a different sexuality to their own. That can sometimes be a challenge. It can sometimes be a source of concern or discomfort or worry. It might be parents and children, it might be siblings, it might be other extended family members. And we've discovered that through the network, people can share their stories, share their experience, learn from some lived experience where people are happy to share and happy to explain, and that can then help everyone. So the network's open to everyone. All we ask and expect is respect, compassion, understanding, and that preparedness to learn and be there for each other. For a lot of people, the fear of coming out and the fear of being true to yourself at work is very real. And that's tied into other things that affect other staff network groups, such as microaggressions, for example, a lack of understanding or respect or appreciation of where people are coming from. So the LGBTQIA+ network is that home, it's that safe space, it's that welcoming opportunity to share a difficulty that you may have. But it can also be that vehicle for education, and it is. We do a lot of training and we have many members of the network who go and spend time with teams, helping teams to understand what it might mean to be a gay man in a new team, and to feel great discomfort to be asked if your wife goes to work as well, or you may or may not have children, And it's the assumptions that people can make that can lead to that fear of coming out. And there's an exhaustion element as well, to constantly have to repeat yourself or tell your story or explain your circumstances. It's so much nicer when you don't have to do that. And the network can be a really powerful advocate through the organisation to try and make sure that fewer and fewer people have those more difficult experiences. I would say, please be yourself at work. It is so important that we can all be genuine. It matters for your well-being, and it matters for your happiness and success in the workplace and the work environment. The network is here to support you, and we will, so please join us if you'd like to. And remember, allyship is as important as being a member of the community. So an important message to please be authentic, be honest, be yourself at work. And tell us if you feel you can't. Get in touch with the staff network for the support that we can provide if that is an issue for you or a difficulty for you, because we want to be there to work with you and for you. And then broader than that, for our patients and for the people that we're here to look after, the more we can be our authentic, honest, happy selves at work, the better we can do that work and the better our teams will work together. So those are my messages.